What is going on out here, peeps? All right, so look again. I just had a great time watching the Silver and Gold conference. There's a lot of great news on there, but I do want to bring a couple things to you because I often talk about a possible bail-in, whether or not we're going to experience it. And a lot of times when I'm bringing stuff to your attention on any of these videos, what I'm bringing to you is awareness, is what I'm trying to bring to you. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, that you're aware of the possibilities of things that could happen. Because every time I talk about a bail-in, people go, wow, you said on your NESARA, GESARA. No, here's the thing about my NESARA, GESARA videos. I said to you, I have no proof that there's a real NESARA, GESARA act. There's no real NESARA, GESARA bill. I know it was brought up. But what I did do was go down a list and prove to you that not only is it possible, but it was happening. It was already happening. So whether they officially call it NESARA, GESARA, I'm not sure what they're going to call it, but it seems to me like Trump is well on his way down this list. But then again, you should always be preparing yourself for the what ifs. A lot of you out there going, oh, I'm just going to buy a house. I got the debt would just be forgiven. Don't do that. There's also the difference between the Great Reset and the NESARA, GESARA. The Great Reset is really bad news. It's literally going to kill billions of people. That's not exaggeration. And they're pushing us in that direction hardcore right now. Hardcore. They're pushing universal income. The Democrats are. Guess who else thinks we should be on universal income? The Great Reset. You see, they want you so dependent on the government and so lazy that you don't want to work for yourself, that you'll rely on the government, and then they control you. This was no mistake that they went out there and destroyed these communities and burned down these buildings and stuff like that. That was planned. This way, the unemployment is unbelievably high. Well, here's a fact for you guys probably didn't know. More than 50% of the unemployment claims are from California by themselves. Yeah. If the Democrats do such a good job, why do we have the highest unemployment, highest taxes, highest homeless? Do you see what I'm saying? But yet there's people out there that continue to put the Democrats back in control. If you removed California off the map as far as contributing to any of the statistics, the country would be way better looking than it is. But nonetheless, California is a cesspool of the liberalism here. They have gone total 100% socialism. They want people so desperate to rely on the government so they can control you. That's been the goal all along. So we are at a pivotal point in our history, whether or not we're going to go worldwide New World Order socialism, or whether you're going to actually stand up and do something for yourself and fight back. The next thing you do, just so you're aware, negative interest rates are bad for people who are saving their money or have retirement accounts. Because what it's actually doing, it's taking your money away. You think it's sitting there and doing something, but it's not. It's costing you money to be in those banks. What they're trying to do is force people to spend their savings. They don't want you saving. They want you constantly working, constantly broke. You have to see the bigger picture. This is why so many people are indeed moving to safe havens, like cryptocurrencies as well as precious metals. Okay, so don't be surprised if somewhere down the line they don't start talking about confiscation. They really don't want you to be rich. They really don't want you to be saving. Take a look at the bigger picture. So that's why I bring you all these things. I'm showing you all these different things so you can see what's going on. That's the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay? So again, for you people, when I'm talking about buying gold and silver, you always get the people from the NESARA, GESARA going, wait, you said there's going to be no problem. There's going to be this magical number of dollars put into a bank account. I never said that. I never ever said that. Other YouTubers are telling you that you're going to get this magical money put into your bank and you're never going to have to work again. I never said that. Okay, so you guys need to be planning for all the what ifs. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's better to be safe than sorry. If you're sitting around going, yeah, I'm not paying my debt, it's going to get paid off. Yeah, I do realize that some of us have had our debt paid off. I get that. But if you're one of the people sitting around just thinking it's just going to magically happen, you could be positioning yourself for a bad situation. I don't know how they're choosing what gets paid, doesn't get paid, who's get paid, and who doesn't. I really don't know how. But having said all that, let's be prepared. Let's do what we can to make sure that we are at least safe and protected into what's coming up. All right, you guys, so let's get into that. Again, precious metals are where it's at. If you're thinking about buying precious metals, please give a consideration to our friends over here at Money Metals Exchange. The link is in the description. Follow it, and if you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, please use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free ½ ounce of silver. We got Pimpy's Investment Chat. It's the same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. All right, no politics, or we'll see. As Cardi B was saying, no politics over there, please. All right, bring that over to here. Current events, politics, politics, QAnon, false flag events, all that stuff's talk about over here, okay? Just be respectful of one another. And for those of you who don't have Facebook, I have a Twitter account. Yeah, look at that crowd yesterday at Trump's. It's huge. Still huge. They continue to be big and growing. So anyways, yeah, there you go. Come on over here to Twitter. Come join us, all right? All right, so look at this. Simon Dixon here, man. This guy wrote a book a few years ago that almost predicted to the T everything that's happened now. Okay, but I'm going to play him a few minutes. I want you to hear what he's talking about when it comes to the banks.
All right. Okay. We'll get there in the end. So today I want to talk about an important topic, which is something that most people won't care about until it is too late. But if you're a subscriber on my YouTube channel, then you'll be familiar with why I think this way. So I sent out a tweet this week, and it was explaining to people that were saying that Bitcoin is a bit too risky for them. My response to them was that I hold my money in Bitcoin because I am risk adverse.
Okay, just so you're aware, this guy's not really a gold and silver bug. He likes pushing everybody towards Bitcoin, but it's why he's moving that direction I want you to pay attention to.
Now, most people won't understand that, but many of my followers completely understand that. And that is because Bitcoin gives you the ability to own your own money, spend your own money, and is not subject to some of the funny money policies by governments at the moment and central banks. And so today I'd like to actually talk about a topic that is very important, given that I believe we are in the Great Depression of 2020. It's not been referred to it as the Great Depression of 2020 because they will wait probably until 2023 until they call this Great Depression of 2020 in the history books. But I'd like to cover some of the things that I'm looking out for next and why I think that people should only have their spending money in a bank and no more. So if you've been liquidating assets and fleeing to safety by putting your money in a bank, which is the strategy that most people follow when they're looking at times of uncertainty, they remove and they liquidate some of their assets for cash, and with the belief that cash is king and cash is the safe place to be. But I believe that cash is a very unsafe place to be in the current environment. It might protect you from volatility, but it doesn't protect you from many of the counterparty risks that exist within the banking system. And so you'd be forgiven for thinking that although we are in one of the craziest economies we've ever seen, well, when stock markets are at all-time high and people may be forgiven for thinking that it doesn't look like we're going to have a bad time in the markets. People still have a lot of money, they're still investing that money, and stocks are hitting all-time highs. I believe that's a bit of a calm before the storm. And so what I'll share with you today, why I think it's important. So the first thing is that if you're familiar with my YouTube, If you've been looking at my videos, even from way back in 2010, from when Bitcoin was created, you'll be familiar with my content that I covered for the first time in a succinct way in my book, Bank to the Future, Protect Your Future Before Governments Go Bust. And the three forces of banking, you've probably heard it from me a million times. If you're new to my YouTube channel, welcome. I will cover it briefly. But there's three challenges with holding your money at a bank. The first is that when you hold your money at a bank, the bank becomes the legal owner of your money. And in times of uncertainty, they can use your money to recapitalize their bank. It's what's known as a bail-in.
More and more people are talking about a bail-in. I did hear during the silver conference, this guy did say that, it was part of the Dodd-Franks, and even if it's been removed, you know what I mean, here in the United States, we are pinning our hopes on Trump that there will be no bail-in. That's literally what they're saying. They don't have the same confidence about if the Democrats get in control. Now, they're saying either party, whether it's Trump gets re-elected or whether the Democrats are in there, both will have a positive effect on gold and silver, but for different reasons. Trump gets re-elected, he's moving us back to the gold standard. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of anticipation that something might be announced before the election. Good. We'll see how it affects the market. If the Democrats get in, everybody's going to lose all confidence in the market. Plus, you can expect a bail-in. And some people are saying, even under the Democrats, you can expect a possible gold confiscation. All right? Because that's how willing they are to take us to the Great Reset, which was really kind of upsetting. So again, people are talking about this, and my goal is to tell you guys, or show you guys, to be aware of this stuff so that you could do what you need to do to at least protect yourself. So if you're holding on to gold and silver, there's no way to know what they've done, what you've done with it. Just do what you can to hide it.
If they threaten the economy and hold it to ransom for a bailout rather, and they don't get that bailout, then they can just simply bail in, because when you deposit your money at a bank, the bank becomes the legal owner of your money. Secondly, when they become the legal owner of their money, your money, they spend it as they choose, and they spend it as collateral in issuing loans. And the number one product that they like to use your money for is lending it out for mortgage loans. And so mortgage is the mechanism. While they can't just strictly spend it as they choose, they can use it in order to redirect loans. And every time they issue a loan, it creates new money. And it's the world's largest regulated Ponzi scheme.
Okay, so anyways, look, he is an advocate for cryptocurrencies, but I did want you to hear what he had to say. Even people who are advocates for cryptocurrencies are now concerned about a bank bail-in. And they're encouraging people to move. In his case, he's saying, when I told everybody I took all my money out of the bank account, it wasn't an exaggeration at all. He's done the same thing. He absolutely only keeps enough money in there to pay for his bills, just like I do. I moved all mine into precious metals with a little bit into cryptocurrencies. This man has moved it all into cryptocurrencies. He does not trust the banks. Nobody with a ton of, and this guy, by the way, is really, really super rich. All right. He moved his into cryptocurrency. The point being, everybody is jockeying to make sure that they somehow, some way can preserve and protect their wealth. So when you see people like this guy here and other people making moves because they anticipate something coming up, we need to see what they do. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, let's get over to this one over here. Now, this guy looks a little crazy, but when I start talking about, people ask me all the time, Pimpy, what about stocks? Are there any stocks that can survive? If you're nervous about precious metals, are there any stocks out there that we can invest in, that could do well in a crisis or in a collapse? Well, yeah, there are. They're the ones that you see me do on my Stock Watch video. They're the precious metals ones, okay? This guy is talking about some great things that are happening to specific stocks out on the market. They just so happen to be the same stocks that are on my fictitious spreadsheet. But I want you to hear about them because a lot of you do ask about these stocks.
Silver stock portfolio update. Exciting news today for First Majestic Silver, which is now my largest holding because I went in and started buying a bunch of it right after the news. And the news was Eric Sprott, who is the single largest precious metals investor in the world, just did about a $75 million investment. We're going to get into what he had to say about that. I was shocked to see that it didn't move the markets into the close. Sprott announced like a $60 million investment into MAG Silver not too long ago, and they had about a 20% move up quickly from that.
Yeah, but what he's saying, okay, the man he's talking about is a billionaire. He moved into two metal markets. One of them was MAG Silver, and it immediately jumped up 20%. The other one was First Majestic, which is one of the ones I've been telling everybody about for a long time, and it didn't move. When he first said this, I thought to myself, how is this possible? Usually when you see announcements of these really super rich people, these hedge funds, these pension funds, making a scurrying into the bushes there and buying up precious metals or buying up specific stocks on a stock company, people are aware. So I'm like, the first thing that crossed my mind is what? They're manipulating the market again. They don't want to cause a panic. If the market was allowed to do what it should truly do and reflect what's really going on, people would see that everybody's rushing to precious metals.
So this is exciting. It was exciting enough for me to want to add a lot to my First Majestic position, and now my largest holding. I also manage my mother-in-law's stock portfolio, and I added a lot for her as well. So let's get into the details. Be sure to hit the like button right over there on this side and right over there on this side, and let's dive right into it.
First Majestic's on my list.
Okay, so let's start off with this tweet by one of my favorite investors to watch, Jeff Clark at The Gold Advisor on Twitter, and he said Sprott now owns 2.3% of AG. Eric quote, "We believe there has been a lack of appreciation for First Majestic Silver in 2020, and we are happy to align ourselves with Keith." Keith Neumeyer had this to say, quote, "This deal represents his largest treasury investment in a silver producer, let alone the entire silver space."
Yep.
Now, I think that's very exciting, and I couldn't have said it better myself. I've been tweeting about it for a while that I think the most undervalued silver stock is First Majestic. It's still negative year to date. I bet you tomorrow when the open happens, we'll see a big jump and it won't be negative year to date anymore. To give an idea, here is a chart that you're seeing right now of the year to date of First Majestic. It's just barely negative year to date, which is ridiculous, given that it's probably the best silver stock there is and has the most leverage to silver and an experienced CEO in Keith Neumeyer. And we just had silver go from 18 bucks, 19 bucks, and went down to 11 during the coronavirus sell-off. Then it went back up and it's hovering around 27, 28, 29. It looks poised for a humongous breakout. And this stock is probably the best silver stock that there is. Now, one of the reasons that I think that this is exciting and worth buying is because the only thing that you can think that has held this stock back, and Keith Neumeyer, I interviewed him and he came on this channel and he said, you know, I think maybe they have a little tax dispute going on with the Mexican government, and he suggested that he thought that was the reason that the stock has been held back, because this is the best stock. I own all the other silver stocks too. I started buying stocks like Endeavor Silver right after the coronavirus sell-off at like $1.50. It's over $4 now. So silver stocks have went wild. A lot of them have given well over 100% returns for me already in my portfolio.
When you watch my stock watch videos and you could see how the precious metal stocks have done, in many cases they've made 100% return. 200% return, 300% return just since April. If you guys are not watching the stock watch videos, you're really missing out. I know they tend to be a little boring, but what we're doing is we've created a fictitious portfolio, and on there we were watching the performances of hand-chosen stocks. Most of them are in the precious metals, and a lot of them are doing extremely well. And I anticipate them to really take off here shortly. Just depends on how the market responds and what's going on with gold and silver. If we have put our faith in gold and silver, then you definitely want to put your faith long-term into stocks regarding gold and silver.
And I made a lot of money off those things, but the thing that I think can make the most money and that I'm most shocked hasn't skyrocketed is First Majestic. You've had these crappy silver stocks go nuts, and the best silver stock has not. And so I think it's a really good opportunity right now. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the press release. So the press release says First Majestic announces a Canadian $78 million bought deal investment by billionaire Eric Sprott. And it goes on to say that Mr. Sprott commented, "We believe there has been a lack of appreciation for First Majestic's equity in 2020, and we are happy to align ourselves with Keith, who recognizes the mispricing of silver in the marketplace." And that's what's most important, and more than anything, is the mispricing of First Majestic.
So again, I don't want to get too long into this video. The point being is this, you guys, there's a lot of things going on. I know I got my Q followers telling me trust the plan, and I got my NESARA, GESARA people going, hey, it's gonna all go away, and I'm like going, man, if you're sitting back there and you're not being proactive and making sure that you're protected and you're putting all your eggs in one basket, you could possibly be waking up to a rude awakening. It's not a matter of whether or not I have any faith in these things. That's not the point. The point being, look, you can't rely on other people to take care of you. You need to find a way to protect and take care of yourself as well as your family. That's the problem with what's going on these days. Too many people are relying on their government, relying on who knows what else to take care of everything for them. When I'm telling you, at least be prepared just in case. Now, a lot of you, and I mean thousands of you is not an exaggeration, well over 3,000 of you have moved into precious metals. Man, that is a great opportunity. That's just about the ones I know here in the United States. I don't know about anybody else outside of the United States, so it could be even more. That is probably going to be one of your single biggest, most important moves of your lifetime. It really will be. Okay? We are keeping an eye on the other foreign currencies, but because we are experiencing a world economic crash, like that guy said, we're actually in a depression, not a recession, and people aren't even aware of it because the market is being artificially pumped with this quantitative easing bullcrap. So, again, sooner or later, the fictitious wall has to come tumbling down. Where are you going to be when that happens? Are you going to be in the best position that suits you? Because if you have an IRA account that's relying 100% on the stock market, yeah, all that could disappear overnight. That's not an exaggeration, all right? I keep suggesting that you move 25 to 30% of your holdings in your IRA accounts into physical gold and silver. There is a way to do that. All right, I showed you guys go contact Money Metals. They have the ability to help you do that. Okay, so I just wanted to share this information. All is good. The conference was awesome. It's still going on from time to time. I'm really happy about it, but I've been real preoccupied. I like listening to a lot of them say. Some of them are very exciting. Some of them are so boring it's hard to stay awake, but I really want to learn as much as I can about what they're talking about. Okay, again, as I get the information, I will share it with you, but it was weird listening to Dixon, even though he's into cryptocurrencies. Now we're looking at cryptocurrency people now talking about their concerns about a bail-in. Okay, very, very interesting in my opinion. I just wanted to share that with you. Also, look at this guy was talking about one of the most wealthiest people out there moving into First Majestic stock, also Meg stock as well. These are all on my list of stock watch videos. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend you go there. They're not overly exciting to watch, but we do monitor some very important stocks that I think people should consider. All right. Anyways, you guys, that's it for now. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later.